Into the darkness again, slipping back into the darkness again. At least as long as a peace, increase the heat. I wanna watch it burn.
Wow, welcome back. Welcome back to the 1A Film Fest. Joe said, welcome back too. He said, yeah, everybody's so happy. Hey, that was an amazing film. And listen, if the media won't tell people those things, we will, right? It's up to us, folks. That's what this whole film fest is about. We have to get over that censorship, the propaganda. That film was amazing. You can see why it was chosen for the festival. Matt being in the house is amazing for y'all to ask questions, get him to sign something. You can say, hey, I met this man that's doing this amazing work. We can't wait to see your next work. And Matt, thank you for your amazing contributions this year to the film fest. We appreciate you and your wife, Joy, so much and look forward to your next work. Now, listen, I made a mistake, folks, and I have to be honest with you. I should have gotten another toasted marshmallow before I came up here because my throat is dry. Y'all feel free to, from your chair, wave down a server. Get whatever you don't have to go to the coffee shop and sit in line. You can have it delivered straight to your seat. Enjoy the experience. That's what it's here for y'all. So thank you once again for being here, and thank you for coming online. So if you would like to hear a little bit about our next film, we're grateful to friends like Trennis Evans, Condemned USA, American Rights Alliance for the relationships. These events are possible because of the relationships we have with other people that are willing to help us or submit work like the Thayers or just be in the audience like you. So one of those members of our friend team is Trennis Evans, amazing guy, and he talked to James O'Keefe and said, listen, this would be a great opportunity to show your film, Line in the Sand. Who has seen that before in this crowd? Only a couple of people. Who has not seen this in this crowd? See, this is what I'm talking about. This film, it's amazing. You're going to like it. And it really gets into the nitty-gritty, the behind-the-scenes. O'Keefe, of course, has been in all kinds of trouble for doing this the way he did it, as O'Keefe does. We love that about him because that's what we need to do is just be bold, right? So before we get into the line in the sand, I want to introduce you to someone who's been living that life for decades, going to the border, working on the abduction issues, the trafficking issues, everything you can imagine bad about the border, from drugs and the cartels down the line. And his beautiful friend that's with him, G.I. Joe. Y'all already heard from him a minute ago. But let me introduce y'all to my dear friend who can explain probably better about what's happening on the border. Since James O'Keefe couldn't be with us today, I wish that he could, maybe next time when he sees what we're doing with this kind of thing. But let me introduce to you my good friend, Doc Pete Chambers.
Dave, thank you. It's good to be here. I would get up and walk over and shake your hand, but I'm not sure what Joe would do.
I know Joe knows me a little bit, but we're not going to try it.
He knows. No, I'm just I'm kidding. You know, it's appropriate that I would come in at this time for this migrant crisis. I've watched it from both sides of the pond. I've watched it across the pond, or the river we call the Rio Grande, very intimately. And as a soldier, you know, this is aging me, but I'm just going to say it. I came in under Ronald Reagan, and I got out under Brandon. So for me, it's been a long career. Now, I didn't do straight active duty. It was active. Let's see if I'm going to get this right. Active reserve, inactive reserve, college medical school, came back, 9/11, Guard, and then active duty, and then the last 8 years was with the Texas National Guard on our border. So it's, 39 years total. But
that is quite a stretch.
Yeah, not all reporting to active duty, but definitely over 20 years. But what that did was it especially in the career field I had, it put me in a very much a when your job is working in the dirt, you know what kind of dirt you're working in, right? You're a plumber, you know pipes, right? I'm a guy that worked, we'll call it a plumber on the battlefield. I stopped bleeding, and some of the greatest Americans in the world that were downrange. Right? That was my job, to bring as many home as I could. But in doing that, in the different positions that I had in different countries, 50-something countries total in my life, conducting unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, and I'm explaining this so you know that I understand what's going on. And then our own nation on the Texas border, I never thought I'd have to say this, we're conducting domestic internal defense. Yes. Domestic internal defense. And I'm going to paint a picture of what that border looks like. And if you can imagine, I don't have a PowerPoint here, but just imagine 1,254 miles of Rio Grande, starting at Brownsville and going all the way over to El Paso. But truly the sectors that I worked in from Brownsville till about Del Rio, a little bit past it into the Big Bend, with the main crossing areas. During the Biden administration, it was not atypical for me to see, or our guys to see, 12,000 to 15,000 a week coming across. Wow. A week. There were 2 occasions specifically where over 10,000 came in. That was in Del Rio with Haitians, and then in Eagle Pass with Venezuelans. And so when you'd see those caravans come, remember the word caravans? And you'd see that what DHS, Mayorkas, he was the boss, allowed it to go what he called himself, Michael Yon, our mutual friend, told us, he admitted to, we're going to do controlled flood instead of controlled flow, right? We're going to allow it to control flood. And that's what happened.
That's different, yeah.
Yes. And so when the cartels are amassing a monthly $450 to $500 million a month in taxes that they were taking from these people that were coming across.
Side note, hang on, Doc.
Yeah.
If you can just grab 1 month's worth of that and bring it to the film fest, we'll be able to do this again next year.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
How much?
Yeah.
How many millions?
$400 to $500 million a month between the cartels, all the way from the Gulf cartel all the way to Sinaloa's, CDN, CMJG, all these others in between.
That's big business.
That's big business. Now, what happened when the big business stopped? Right? The video that we just saw prior to this, President Trump came in, second go-round, and what did he do? He shut the border. He shut the border. It was not the state of Texas that shut the border. The optic of what I was working on Operation Lone Star was an optic. We were counting heads. We weren't authorized to do anything hands-on, not do anything. It just looked good for politics' sake, and that's not going to protect us. Politics doesn't protect people, right? People that understand the dirt protect people. And so that's what we were looking at. And we advised it numerous times, and they didn't listen to us. But what has come across now, and this thing here, the migrant crisis, that is a line in the sand. Well, you know who drew the first line in the sand in the Texas history? William Barrett Travis in the Alamo, right? But he was giving them opportunity to leave, and they didn't. Not a one crossed the line. And, there's an old song about that, 24 February 1836. So there's some history there with us. William Barrett Travis, Bowie, Crockett would be rolling over at their graves if they knew what we allowed to come across that border. They chased Pancho Villa down to that border, below the border, 200 miles. And he just came across and shot a bunch of folks in Columbus. That's all he did, and then raided. But that wasn't what we see now. And when I advised, let us go across the border and stop it, we'll stop the cartels. It'll take us 2 months. We'll stop it. And
that's what we need.
That's what we need. Affirmative.
Yes. And why haven't we done this yet?
It's just not politically expedient, and it doesn't match the polls of what the Texans want.
But it could be done.
Oh, it can absolutely be done. We have the firepower in Texas. We're the roughly 12th to 15th largest army in the world if we were a nation ourselves. But it's not about that. It's about pinpointing those bad guys and stopping them, and they'll quit doing it. But I'm going to paint the picture once again. It's not just the flags of cartels that are the enemy. Okay, everybody wants you to think that. That's the dialectic. When you hear usually the news media, if you get emotional about something or you see somebody getting emotional about it, you're caught up in a dialectic. And at that point, you're being fooled. Just consider that. You're being fooled. So stop, back up and say, what are they really trying to do? What are they really trying to do with a special session and Democrats walk out and they argue about it all day long in Austin? No, what are they really trying to do? And then you'll find the truth. And so the cartels may be the enemy, but what's behind them? CCP, right? What's behind them? United Nations. What's behind them? WEF. Well, what's behind that? Agenda 2030. Well, what's behind that? Corporations. Now, if we look at what's going on there, worldwide corporations, to include those, and then I have to add some more flags to this battle map. Unfortunately, for me as a guy that's looking at the Rio Grande, we call it the Mike side, that's Mexico. As me, the guy that's watching Mexico, 1,254 miles, and I'm trying to stop the needles in a stack of needles from coming across. Yes. Bad guys who want to kill us, Tren de Aragua, yes. MS-13, yes. You name it, they're coming across. 154 countries came across that border, right? That's just the numbers of different flags. But think about the flags in our back. Ooh, wait a minute now. Mainstream media. You're saying that they're an enemy? I'm saying they're a propaganda tool for the enemy.
Wow, that's deeper.
That's deep. Think about this. You got Antifa Party and you got the Communist Party of America, and they're pretty bold about it. They'll throw their flag out there. But the subversive ones, the insidious onset of evil that is hiding in the shadows, that is lurking like a lion trying to prowl, right? We say this in faith as well. Come to kill, to steal, to destroy, a barbaric mindset that only wants to take. It only wants to take. It wants to take from freedom and turn it into slavery, right? It's freedom to slavery. And so what we have to do when we tell the truth, I was a whistleblower and I got slapped for it, right? And it's nothing compared to what, I saw guys do downrange with a rifle. We might have got slapped a few times, so some of them lost their lives to maintain this Constitution. But I have to ask, after 20 years of doing it back and forth to all these places, for what?
Right.
I have to ask the question. It's not easy to do because I have personally put friends in body bags.
I would venture to say that anybody that gets involved in something that's over their experience or what they've ever not just dealt with, but having to deal with feels exactly for what? I know J6 community is feeling that as well. What do we just go through that for?
For what? And here's the for what. The truth shall set you free. With truth, though. With truth, thank you. With truth comes a cost. Okay, so Pete Chambers is on the border. They bring the shots down there and they say, give every soldier on the border shots. And I say, no, I'm not going to give them shots. Got 3,000. We went up to 5,000 soldiers. I had two of them come up between the floods and say, hey, thanks for standing in the gap. Right? And that's all I need right there. But they pull me off the border. You're done. We're going to put you in a desk job. I retired. I went on Alex Jones. And that's where I got into social media, because now we got to fight a different way, right? So now we just start telling truth, but there's a cost. It took me 2.5 years to get my retirement pay. I finally just got it a few months ago. I got out in 2022 in October. That's how long it took. And, well, it was an accident in the system. Somehow we lost your paperwork and all this stuff.
It's always just an accident.
The only thing I was living on was disability check from the Army. Now, they did pay that, but they didn't pay my retirement. No problem. I got friends that put me up, live in a trailer behind their house. These are true stories.
You've got work to do. You're just
we had work
there for
to do.
A minute. That's right.
One of our team members, two of our team members are here. Counter human trafficking. We went down to take care of those little eyes that I used to look at that I couldn't do nothing about. Now we can. Right? And so now we're in a different fight.
So that's really what this whole migrant crisis movie, The Line in the Sand, and this is the whole, you're painting a bigger picture than even the movie paints. In my opinion.
Seen it.
Yes. So how do we fix this? How do we, as our audience and those watching, gear up to take this fight to the next level?
The wicked will flee when no one pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. It is written. That's how we handle this. Now, that's esoteric to many people.
Sure.
But understand, we just have to be bold in truth. But to be bold in truth. And when we do those things, that means stepping into a gap somewhere.
That's right.
Okay. Well, for me, I thought I was going to be a sheriff. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to do. I want to get out of the military and be a sheriff. That's an executive position.
Yes.
All right. Well, somebody offered me to be a congressman. I said no. I would probably throat punch somebody on the floor of Congress.
Easily.
Right. So I'm not going to do that. So what is the other executive position I can do in the state of Texas? Let's take it up a notch. Run for the senior public servant in the state of Texas. And that's what I'm doing. All right. Now, you can figure out who that is and what that is. This isn't a political speech. We're not going to campaign. But you've got to be bold and call things out as they are And snowball's chance in hell. Yeah, I've heard that a million times.
Yes.
But God.
Yes. Yes.
5 smooth stones and a giant. But God.
I 100% agree. Isn't that right? That's been my experience. That's been our experience with the friends that we have, that we've been. And it takes, I think, if anybody's ever heard me speak, it's what are you willing to do? You are willing to do what now? Let me hear you correctly.
Run for the senior public servant in the state of Texas. Now, I've been a public servant in uniform for a long time.
Yes, you have.
But now this one is going to remove Greg Abbott from his seat.
That sounds like a plan. What do y'all think? That's exciting to me. I've met with him. He didn't help me. This is personally, not any other way. I'm proud of you for stepping into that, man. That's a big step, brother.
You know what? We're in a fight, and we're taking a lot of hits. Because once you start, you're in the ring, you're going to get some hits. And they told me, they said, grassroots. Only losers say grassroots. You don't have billionaires. I don't need billionaires. We the people, by the people, for the people, outnumber them all day long. $18.36 is what we're asking for a month from every Texan that's a voter so that we can get into that seat, because that's all we need. We've done the math.
Yes.
All right, 18.6 million Texans vote. Last time it was won in the primary by, it was 1 million votes, or 1 million point something voted. Wow. People don't vote in primaries. No. 3rd of March is a primary, by the way. The day after Independence Day in Texas. That'll be Liberation Day, we'll just call it. Yeah.
Liberation Day's coming, folks. Now, Doc, I know we've talked about this leading up to your declaration, and I know that a lot of other people talk about it. So I want to thank you for doing that.
Thanks, sir.
I really do. And yes. And in the spirit of that, since James O'Keefe could not be here to grace us with his presence, and we love that, but since you're here to explain that crisis and you're stepping in the same style with that First Amendment mentality of people need to know and being willing to do something, I want you to take this and wear this with pride, brother.
I'll take it. Thank you.
If you have an opportunity, as soon as you're elected, to put that on and say, hey, these people were there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's cheap plug.
I'll stand
cheap
up
plug.
On that one.
Cheap plug. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Man. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Appreciate you,
it.
buddy. Yeah, you're doing good. So, Doc Pete Chambers for governor, folks. Who can vote for that? Looks like we have all these votes in this room, and I hope everybody online as well. And we're serious, $18.36 a month. I can do that, guys. I can give up something if I need to, but I'm hoping a lot of other people are able to do more for those that can't. And listen, this is an opportunity. I would love to see Abbott roll down the road. Just what? What? Hey, listen, this is no more evidence of censorship and propaganda. I'm not going to pull back anymore, folks. I'm not going to self-censor on this stuff. He won't stand for anything. Doc Pete Chambers will. Thank you, my brother. God bless you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See you later, Joe. You be a good boy. All right, let's start this next film, guys. Cue it up, Andrew. And y'all get ready for Line in the Sand. James O'Keefe, thanks for being here. Share it with your friends. Share it with your friends.